We're joined here in the studio by Oleksiy Goncharenko, a Ukrainian MP with a seat in Odessa, which of course has come under ongoing attack. Very nice to have you in the studio, Oleksiy. In terms of what's happening in these four disputed regions, there have been these referendums that we should put inverted commas around.
Yeah, so-called, yeah.
And Russia is now going to amalgamate these areas into its own country tomorrow. How do you feel about that, and how hard is it watching that happen?
It's a new crime from Putin, nothing new for us. We knew that that is his playbook, and he is coming through it and realizing it. But for us, nothing has changed, and this is our territories, this is our land, this is our people, and we should liberate them. And we have many reasons for this, but one reason is that people on occupied territories are under genocide. And it's not a political expression, but a juridical one, because according to United Nations Convention on Prevention of Genocide, there are 5 criteria of genocide. And even if one is met, it's already genocide. But unfortunately, in Ukraine, all 5 are met on the occupied territories. We have public speeches of Putin that Ukrainians as a group do not exist. This is just bad Russians who should be fixed. They destroy our cultural heritage, forceful deportation of people, including children, to make from them Russians, sexual crimes and mass murders. Everything is on the table. So we can't leave these people under genocide, so we should liberate them, and we will do it.
And there is obviously that clear belief and desire to do this. The fact that these areas will be amalgamated tomorrow, but we've seen what happened in Crimea not so many years ago. Do you feel confident now that not only will you be able to take these 4 areas back, but you'll be able to take Crimea back as well?
I think we should liberate all our territories, including for sure Crimea, which is Ukraine. And this is the only way to come back to international order and to international law, to respect of international law. If the situation will go another way, if Putin would be successful in any way, that will mean that we don't have a world with the order in it, with international law. This will be the world like a wild jungles, with a bear, with a tiger, hunting for peaceful nations. That shouldn't be this way. So that's why we believe that we can liberate all our territories. And we already showed it. Like just several weeks ago, we liberated part of Kharkiv region, which was like 1/3 of it was also occupied. That is like more than 1,000 square miles. And we liberated it just in several days. So we hope that we will continue to do it. And I can tell you that our counteroffensive has not stopped. We continue, we every day liberate town, village, some territory in the east of our country and also in the south.
In terms of what happens next, we know that President Putin is talking tough about what will happen. He's talked about conscripting people inside Russia to go to the front line. We've seen Russian men trying to leave the country, and today we've seen that Finland is saying it's closing its borders to Russian tourists. In terms of what possibly is on the horizon, do you fear it's going to get a great deal worse before it gets better?
First of all, I would like to tell you that this mobilization, that cannot change the result of the war, but that can certainly prolong the war. And that will be a new bloodshed and tens of thousands of people killed. Why it will not change the result of the war? Because Russian army and Russian state is like a dinosaurus. Very big body, tiny head, and very tiny brains inside. So the problem of Russian army is not the size of the body, number of people, but another problems, and they do not fix them with the mobilization. But now,
and I understand that, and I understand that Ukrainians are fighting for something that they believe in, and if the Russians are conscripted, that they are not necessarily. But is that self-belief and that desire to save the country enough to actually save it?
I think yes, but also I want to tell you that I think now we have a unique window of opportunity. Like in Ukraine, in March, if we would have weaponry that we have today, HIMARS, howitzers and other things, we would finish everything in spring. When Russians were retreating from Kiev, disorganized, their blitzkrieg failed. Now we have new window of opportunity. These new mobilized people will arrive in 2 months, probably. And before this, I think 1-2 big defeats like near Kharkiv, and Putin's regime will collapse. That is absolutely real. But for this, we need to receive today more weaponry from the West. Long-range missiles, tanks finally, because for the moment we haven't received any one modern Western tank. So that should be made, and with this we can finish everything before these newly mobilized will arrive, and that will be in the benefit of the whole world. And
very briefly, because we only have 30 seconds left, but new sanctions, do you think that they will come, and do you think they will make a difference?
Sure, they should be. Finally to cut Russia off from SWIFT. Sanctions against their metallurgy, which is still not under sanctions, and many other things which can be and should be done. First of all, against gas and oil.